Let's take a look at the account history section for an account. Let's go back into ABC Corporation, go up to the account history menu, and you'll see that we have access to the customer's service ticket history, their invoice history, installed equipment list, support history, and alarm signal events. Let's go into the service history section, and you'll see a list of all service tickets that have been generated. You can sort this list by clicking on the top of any column. And when you go into a particular ticket, you will see the main ticket screen. We will cover service tickets in great detail on the service management video coming up in the near future. For now, just realize that you can have access to a customer's service ticket by just simply going into their account history section. The ticket number, dates of the ticket when it was scheduled to be done, when work was actually completed, the technicians assigned, work requested and performed, as well as the technicians' time cards and serviced items and so forth are all available to view from within the customer's account. To actually create the service tickets, that would be done in the service ticket area that you'll see in a future video. Under the invoice history, you'll have a list of every invoice generated by alarm. Invoices are generated by alarm and they can be viewed within TechWeb. You can also email invoices out within TechWeb as well. Just as with tickets and any other list, you can click on the top heading of any column to sort the list by that column. Right now we're in a descending mode for the date field. If we click on change or view, it'll bring up a summary of the invoice. To email an invoice out, you have to click on change because you actually will click on this email invoice checkbox. And that'll bring up the customer's primary email address on file. You can then go ahead and change this if you wish to a different email address. And then when you click on the save button, it will go ahead and email the actual invoice as an attachment, a PDF attachment to that email address. So go ahead and click on save. Then you'll actually see the copy of the PDF if we bring up the email. And this would be an example, just as the same kind of an email invoice that Alarm sends out, TechWeb has the same logic built in, and it will email the same kind of an invoice, including your logo file if you have that within the Alarm Win folder. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the payment section. Here you'll see every payment that has been posted on this invoice. Just as in the Alarm software, there are 4 primary payment areas and then an additional payment section as well. Under details, you'll see a list of every line item that's on that invoice. So with TechWeb, you can be out in the field and have access, if you have authority to do so, to every invoice generated for this customer's account. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the installed equipment list. Just as with Alarm, the installed equipment list is automatically added every time you generate an invoice. Every line item, every item from inventory selected on an invoice is added to the customer's installed equipment list. TechWeb displays all those items, as well as allowing you to insert additional items from here if you wish. You can click on any column to sort the list by that column. If the list is longer than what will be displayed on the screen, you will have a locate field where you can go ahead and actually locate an item based upon what column you're sorting on. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these items. Click on change. And you'll see the part number and description and categories and so forth. All these drop-down lists come from your same validation lists in Alarm. So if I click on the category drop-down, you'll see a list of all the various categories you have set up in inventory within Alarm. If I click on the question mark, which is a lookup button, it will bring up inventory, and you can go ahead and select an item from inventory, and that will become the item that appears on that list. Usually you would use that just when you're inserting a new item, and I'll show you that in a second. So then you have the date of installation, the quantity, cost, and so forth. These are user-definable fields in Alarm. So whatever you have these fields defined as within Alarm, that's how they'll be displayed within TechWeb as well. Let's go ahead and insert a new item. So click on Insert. Go back to this lookup. choose an item from inventory. Choose this. And it goes ahead and brings in the information about that item onto the equipment profile. We can go ahead and type in anything we want additional. And you'll see now that item has been added to the customer's equipment list. Next up is the support history for this customer's account. Here you see every support record that's been recorded in a log, and you can also insert additional support records within TechWeb as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these support records. And just as you would see the support history in a log, you will see in TechWeb it shows the date of the support record, the date and time stamp, what kind of a conversation it was with the client, and then also notes that were entered regarding the actual conversation. We have found that a lot of our clients rely on the support area of Alarm to keep track of conversations with customers. Now within TechWeb you have access to the exact same area, and you can also go in and insert additional support notes. And when you do so, it's going to automatically fill in a lot of the information for you based upon the default settings you have in Alarm, just as when you create a support record in Alarm. So the date and time are filled in for you. The call length will be filled in automatically once you save the support note. What the status of this conversation was, the in, out, and priorities, what employee is logged into TechWeb will be automatically stamped onto this record. Who you spoke to would be the main person at the customer's account, but again you can change these fields if you wish. Telephone number, and then if you want you can actually schedule a follow-up from this support record right within TechWeb, and it will add that follow-up reason to this date on the appointment calendar. So in Alarm you'll now see a follow-up for this support note entered in TechWeb, or within TechWeb when you see later the appointment calendar, you'll see this will record the follow-up on the appointment calendar as well. The last section under history would be the alarm signal events. If you've entered the signal history within Alarm manually, or if you've imported the signal events from a file that you've received from your central station, you will have access to looking at all the signal histories within a customer's account in TechWeb. If you go ahead and click on any particular signal, you will see a view of information about that signal, including the time and date, the type of code that was sent by the panel, any comments, notes, and if it's been indicated as a false alarm or not, you'll see that indication here. You can also, while out in the field, go ahead and insert signals if you wish as well. As you can see, the history section is beneficial for a technician or anyone out in the field to view what service has been done previously, what is installed at that customer site, as well as the history of signal events that's occurred at that location. For additional information on TechWeb, please visit our website at www.z-microtech.com.